bitches. This is the Retro Flora podcast, and it's Retroween this month. I'm Brenda.
And I'm Charmy, and we're two crazy sisters with an opinion and a channel.
If you like true crime, conspiracy, and supernatural shit, then this is your channel. Well, welcome, foolish mortals.
It's our first Halloween.
It's Retroween
month for us, and so everything's spooky all the time.
We're happy to have you, ghouls and gals.
And everything in between.
So today we're gonna jump into the history of the Queen Mary.
Which is actually very important for us because we live in Long Beach and right next to the Queen Mary.
Yeah, we're like pretty close to it. So we thought we would jump into the Queen Mary and all the spooky stuff that has to do with the ship.
Yeah, I've heard some really creepy tales about that ship.
Not to mention that when we were kids, we literally spent a night on this ship.
Yes, I do. I was young, but I do remember parts of it.
That ship is creepy, and it just gave like a very eerie, sinister vibe, even just walking down the hallway. So I guess let's just jump into the Queen Mary. The Queen Mary, or the RMS Queen Mary, which stands for Royal Mail Ship, began construction in 1930 in Clydebank, Scotland by the Cunard White Star Line. But because of the economic setback caused by the Great Depression, it took 3.5 years and 3.5 million pounds, or $4.8 million US to complete. And I don't know how much that is, so let's like calculate today. That right now. Give us a second. Okay, so this is saying it's like almost $900 million.
Dang.
Yeah, that's crazy. The ship was to be named after Queen Victoria, but when representatives of the company asked the king for permission to name the ship after Britain's greatest queen, the king said his wife, Mary of Teck, would be honored. Yeah, okay.
So, okay. So
yeah. So, like, yeah, he's basically saying, like, yeah, she's the greatest queen of...
Saying his queen right now is the greatest queen. Okay.
Like, okay, that's not what we asked. The Queen Mary was 1,019.5 feet, or 311 meters. It was Britain's first entry into the 1,000-foot ship category. On May 27th, 1936, the RMS Queen Mary set sail on her maiden voyage from Southampton, England to New York. She had 5 dining areas and lounges, 2 cocktail bars, 2 swimming pools, a grand ballroom, a squash court, which is like basically tennis, but it's like when you play against the wall, like when you're in that room and you play against the wall and it's bouncing off the wall like that.
Fancy people tennis.
Yeah, fancy people tennis. A small hospital, a gym, and a library.
It's stuff like this that makes me want to go on a cruise, but then how like people die on cruises makes me not want to go on a cruise.
Well, yes, that is the negative side of...
Like, I've seen Poseidon, I'm good.
For 3 years, the Queen Mary carried wealthy passengers such as royalty, movie stars, and politicians across the ocean. In 1936 to 1937, and again in 1938 to 1952, the ship held the blue riband for the fastest average speed while crossing the Atlantic Ocean. So basically, she was like a fast ship.
She was the Black Pearl of its time.
Yeah, I guess so. In September of 1939, World War II started. The Queen Mary suspended its commercial services and was used as a troop ship, which basically means they just carried like soldiers to and from like places.
Yeah.
Because of her speed, size, and technology. The Queen Mary could reach to 32.5 knots, which is 37.4 miles per hour.
I was about to ask, because I don't know nothing about boat speed.
Yeah, no, I figured I would calculate that so we would know. Which at the time was faster than most German U-boat torpedoes, and could carry up to 15,000 people, the highest being 16,683 people. The ship was stripped of its furnishings and painted a navy gray. She became known as the Gray Ghost, which is kind of ironic.
Because she's considered haunted now?
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Like, they weren't thinking about that when, like, years later.
Right. In October of 1942, the ship collided with the RMS Curaçao, resulting in the death of nearly 340 crew members. The Queen Mary was 20 times larger than the Curaçao. In July 1947, after the war, the Queen Mary made its first post-war commercial voyage. It continued to do so for nearly 2 decades. But in the 1960s, air travel began to become the preferred way to travel, And after years of financial hardships, in 1966, Cunard announced that they would be selling the ship. And in 1967, the city of Long Beach, California bought the Queen Mary for $3.4 million and turned it into a hotel and tourist attraction.
Which is what we know about it today.
Yay! Stop coming here. I'm just kidding.
I know, since the movie came out, I'm like scared tourism is gonna go up.
Yeah, it probably is.
Which is like good for us, you know, economically, but not for my peace of mind.
So that was just some brief history on the Queen Mary. So let's get into like the spooky supernatural part of Queen Mary
that we all know about.
Right. Over the years, there have been many ghost sightings on the Queen Mary. People have experienced temperature changes when entering certain parts of the ship, such as the second class pool and a haunted stateroom, and the shaft alley and the bathroom near it. The stateroom has been known to smell like cigars and perfume. Some people have reported hearing knocks and creaking doors, laughter, whistling, and people talking in empty rooms. Lights have been known to switch on and off by themselves. People have reported seeing a ghost with blue coveralls with a beard. He is believed to be the ghost of a fireman who was crushed by the watertight doors during a fire drill. Like Loki reminds me of Titanic when like they're trying to run out and the doors are coming down. Yeah, no, I hate that scene. I'm scared of that scene. Please, I hope I never have to experience anything like that. One of the most haunted places on the ships are the pool areas. In the first class pool, people have seen wet footprints near an empty swimming pool. In the second class pool area, people have seen a ghost of a little girl who drowned in that pool. There have also been reports of laughter and crying in the third class playroom. Some people have reported seeing the ghost of an engineer who was killed in the engine room and a woman dressed in all white. And so I found the website, well, we both actually found the same website, that kind of has some spooky stories and like just ghost encounters in different rooms. So we're just gonna read them to you guys. Stateroom B340.
Which sounds like a drug.
This stateroom was a problem long before the Queen Mary opened as a hotel. In 1948, a British third-class passenger, Walter J. Adamson, passed away in the room under circumstances that have been lost in time. Later, in 1966, a woman staying in the room reported that she was woken up when the bed covers were pulled off of her and she saw a man standing at the foot of her bed. Oh my god, no! She screamed and rang for the steward, but the man apparently vanished into thin air. And in the years since, guests have reported hearing someone knocking on the door in the middle of the night and seeing bathroom lights mysteriously turn on. Even the hotel's maids have made reports of the bathroom water running when no one has stayed in the room for days, and on one occasion, of bed covers being pulled right off after the bed had been made. This room was closed to guests for many years, but has since reopened for anyone looking for an evening of creepy fun.
Creepy and fun should not even go in the same sentence. But when you said that,
well, to be fair, I do like to be scared. Like, I love me some creepy Knott's Berry Farm, Universal type stuff.
Horror Nights.
But not real creepy ghosts really scaring me and standing at the foot of my bed. No. The Mauritania Room. In 1989, 2 women were sent to clean this lounge for a VIP reception. When they entered the room, they found the guest sitting silently on a chair in the middle of the dance floor. When a third woman came in to help with the cleaning, she remarked that the guest was staring, and she asked him to move. As the employees started to call security, the guest faded into thin air right in front of them, a feat all 3 women reported seeing at the same time.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, I wouldn't even put my 2 weeks in. I would have quit.
Just not show up.
At all. The Mayfair Room. This room was once the ship's beauty salon, but now it is an office space for hotel employees. In 2001, a member of the accounting staff came in early to work at 5:30 a.m. to be exact, and simply felt like something was off. She went about her office tasks before sitting down at her desk and feeling unusually cold. Later, she felt someone brush up against the back of her chair, but there was no one there. No, I hate that, no. Just minutes after that, the woman saw a transparent figure in white walk across the room and pass through the door. Needless to say, the employee grabbed her keys and fled the room until her co-workers arrived. Girl, same.
Well, I mean, she's smart, but also, why is everybody in white?
I don't know. But yeah, no, girl, same. I would have been like, all right, bye, dip, I'm gone, ghost, peace. don't look for
You can
me.
have this.
Yeah, it's your office now. The first class swimming pool. This now abandoned onboard pool was once the epitome of luxury with an illuminated fountain, a mother of pearl ceiling, and elaborate mosaic tiles. The pool is no longer in use because of California code issues, but that doesn't stop it from being one of the hotbeds of paranormal activity on the ship. People have reported seeing a number of apparitions here, including a young woman in a tennis skirt walking downstairs and disappearing behind a pillar, a woman in an old wedding gown next to the pool with a little boy in a suit, and a cloud of steam appearing out of nowhere along with a little girl in blue and white dress who disappears in an instant. Boiler room number 4. Several people have reported seeing a little girl in this area, sometimes sucking her thumb and sometimes with a doll in her hand. Hatch door number 13. This hatch door is known as Shaft Alley, and it was the site of a gruesome accident that saw a crew member crushed to death. One night in 1966, the watertight doors in the engine and boiler room were ordered to be closed. About 5 minutes later, an 18-year-old crew member from Yorkshire was found crushed in the door hatch 13, trapped with his arm pinned to his side. Although the man was freed and carried to the hospital ward, it was too late. He showed signs of crushed injuries on his arms, chest, and pelvis, and was bleeding from his nose. He was injected with morphine but died shortly after. His ghost is regularly seen around that area now, with people reporting the sound of someone running behind them whistling. Others have possibly made contact with the doomed crewmen, noticing spots of grease that look like footprints on their faces. What? Huh? The ghost is stepping on their faces?
Well, wouldn't you feel that?
Oh, hell no. Some have seen a figure of a bearded man in blue coveralls that look just like the man who died out of the corner of their eye. And several others have said they've seen an engineer wandering the hallways, asking if ghosts had seen his wrench. But when they went back to find him, he disappeared.
No.
Yeah.
That's probably scariest of them all.
Yeah, no way. This next story is from Rita the cat, and it's posted 5 years ago. When I was a kid, my mom would take me and my brother on the Queen Mary. Why?
Well, we went on the Queen Mary.
I know, but like she just made it sound like she would just take them a lot. One time, so that means they've been there more than once. One time we went into a roped off area and explored. I thought I heard a scream, and my mom and my brother both thought they heard a baby crying. Later, we bought a book from the gift shop about the Queen Mary, and one of the stories was about the screams of a mother who found her dead baby in the hall we were in. Yo, why is her baby dead?
Oh my god, that's just so sad.
That is sad. There were reports mentioned in the book that some people could hear the baby crying too. Realistically, I just think we let our imaginations get the best of us because we were in an area we weren't supposed to be in. I've been there lots of time, but that was the only weird thing to happen to us there. I just know that when we stayed on the Queen Mary, there was this time where like Nicholas went in the bathroom and
our brother
and he started doing like Bloody Mary or whatever, and then like he said the lights went out or whatever, and he started trying to open the door, and he thought we were holding it, and we weren't, and like we just hear him panicking and freaking out, and so we're like trying to open the door from the other side, and I don't know, like that was just something that was really creepy. I don't know if that's Queen Mary related or if he was just summoning Bloody Mary, which was kind of stupid to do anyway, but
summoning Bloody Mary on the Queen Mary,
right? Yeah, like you definitely want a death wish if you do that. But I don't know, just being on that boat, like it is a very creepy and sinister ship. We did do a ghost tour on there one time.
Yeah. And
it was just kind of like, I don't want to be here. Like, I'm doing this because I don't want no one to know I'm scared, but like, really, I just want to be home.
I remember we were in the engine room, they make it blow up. I was terrified the entire time. I was covering my ears, like when it would start blowing up and start shaking. Like, it was scary. Yeah. I mean, I recommend, I don't know what the ghost tour is like now because like that was a long time ago, but I do remember us going to like some of those like aforementioned rooms that we talked about and them just explaining history behind it and everything. I do remember going inside the pool room.
Yeah, we went to the pool room. We went into some of these staterooms that they were talking about. Like,
we should really go for a Halloween tour one year.
Well, they do like that shipwreck ghost maze thing, kind of like nods on there.
I don't know why they call it maze. You can literally just walk, like it tells you where to go.
Well, honestly, I actually think they do Shacktober or Shacktoberfest or something now, which some people have told me is very fun and very spooky. So
from Shaquille O'Neal?
Yeah, I guess he like did some type of scary thing. It's Shacktoberfest. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. I know someone who went there. They said it was actually really fun and creepy, and it has a lot of jump scares and stuff.
You know, Shaq would be a really cool person to party with.
Yeah, I think so too. So we watched this movie, The Hunting of Queen Mary, or whatever it's called, because we thought it was related and we should probably watch it and give you guys a little review since we're covering the Queen Mary. So here's what we think about it.
So I went into this movie with one thought: it cannot be worse than Ghost Ship. And guess what? It was worse than Ghost Ship. I freaking hate that movie.
Hey, don't play Ghost Ship like that. It had some parts.
Especially since like same people did Ghost Ship, or same people did 13th Ghost or 13 Ghosts. And I love 13 Ghosts, but I just hate Ghost Ship, and I hate this movie we had to watch.
Dang, I don't hate Ghost Ship, but the Haunting of the Queen Mary, I think that's what it's called.
It was all over the place.
It was a lot of timeline switching, so you really do need to pay attention to this or read the synopsis and then watch it, because maybe you'll have a better understanding. As far as it being related to the Queen Mary,
besides it being on the ship,
yeah, I feel like that was the only correlation to the Queen Mary. I mean, yes, they had like the pool room and they had like a ghost related to the pool room, but not really, because the ghost didn't actually die in the pool room. They just haunted the pool room, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, they just haunted every part of the ship, so they just so happened to be in the pool room.
It had like an American Horror Story feel. Like if you die on the boat, you stay with the boat. Same thing. Like,
well, that's kind of like what people in general think of ghosts, though. Like when you die in a certain place, like you stay there.
But these are hitchhiking ghosts. They want to get off the ship, into people by going through their bodies, and it was just. Like, okay, I like the atmosphere. It was very scary, like looking, but the storylines when like I fell off.
Yeah, for me, I was just really confused for a lot. So I literally watched this movie, then read the synopsis, because I was just like, huh? What? Why did that happen? Like, so all in all, if I was going to rate this movie,
out of 10,
I would give it I'll give it a 4, because I liked the graphics. I liked the spooky, or even the gore scenes were giving, but
yeah, I would say it was very bloody.
Yeah, but I would have to say the storyline for me, that's a no.
Yeah, I would have to give it a 3.5. I'm being generous.
So yeah, that's our review on the Haunting of the Queen Mary. Sorry for the spoilers.
I mean, it's not really go into much detail.
Yeah, but just know that you know what, we should just spoil this for you, because you don't even watch it. Okay, just don't read the synopsis. It's probably better. It's a better story to read. Well, you've made it to the end.
You must really like the sounds of our high-pitched voices and quirky commentary.
You might as well like and subscribe to our channel and hit that bell to be notified every time we drop new content. If you want to follow our social medias, they will be linked in the description box below.
Bye.
Stay spooky, you guys.
Ooh, Retroween.
Retroween.